there, fourth graders. Today we are going to expand on what we were working on yesterday. We're going to continue to practice with the standard algorithm, but we're still going to have our place value charts there just to help us out for a little bit. Okay? We are going to represent and solve division problems requiring decomposing a remainder in the tens. That sounds complicated, but it's okay. We're just going to have a remainder in our tens that we're going to have to rename and decompose. Okay? So let's take a look at what that looks like and get started. Here's just some algorithm review from yesterday. Okay, just to get us warmed up. I would like you to try these on your own. See if you can practice the algorithm. I'm going to pause my video, get the answers, and then you can play your video again to see the answers to see how you did. So please pause and take a minute to try these on your own. Okay, hopefully that felt pretty good, and go ahead and pause and check your work here. I'm just going to kind of explain a few things as you look at it. So the standard algorithm, you use the divisor going into your tens first. So 3 went into 3 tens one time. It goes above the tens, and that was 3 tens. So I subtracted 3 tens because I used them all up. There's 0 left. I bring down my 7 in my ones. 3 goes into 7 only twice. Gets me to 6. So that's where this 6 came from. Gives me a remainder of 1. Notice that I've listed out all of my quotients and my remainders. I've also checked my work. Okay, so if that takes you a second to make sure that you have all the parts here, please pause the video and check these out. Okay, so I did my divisor, which was 3, times my quotient, which was 12, and got 36, and I had a remainder, so I've got to remember I've got to add that back in to make sure that my answer actually checks. Okay, so that's what those look like. We're going to practice more of this today, but like I said, we're not going to have zeros left over in the tens. We're actually going to have some tens left over. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, Audrey and her sister found 9 dimes and 8 pennies. If they share the money equally, how much money will each sister get? Okay, well, I'm going to start with a place value chart, okay, to remind us what a great tool those are. Okay, so I'm going to start my place value chart. I've got tens over here, and I have ones. I am noticing that I have 9 dimes and 10 pennies. That's what the two sisters, there's 2 sisters, are sharing. Okay? So I know dimes, those are being represented as tens. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 9 dimes and 8 pennies. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to make my wiggly line, and then I'm going to put my groups underneath. So there's my one line to make 2 groups. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to start dividing up my tens. So I have 1, 2. I'm going to put them in the groups. 1, 2. Put them down in my groups. 1, 2, put them down in my groups. 1, 2, put them down in my groups. And, oh, look at this. So this is what we're working on today. So I've got an extra 10. Okay, so see how it doesn't divide evenly. 9 does not divide evenly by 2. So there's 4 and 4 with 1 left over. Alright, so this is where we are going to have to rename. We're going to have to decompose that 10 into ones in order to finish this division. Okay, I'm going to very neatly, because I don't have a lot of space, I'm going to very neatly decompose my 10 into a 10 frame. I'm going to put it up here just because that's where I have extra space, so I can be nice and neat about it. Okay, so there's my 10 frame. okay? And I have 10 plus the 8 ones that I already had, okay? I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to show you what that's looking like in your algorithm. So let's set up an algorithm. I've got 98 cents under my division bar with my divisor of 2. So I'm dividing by 2. The 2 went into the 9 4 times. Okay, so those two groups, there was 4 in each of those groups. So 4 dimes for each sister. But it only used up 80 cents. So there's my 8 tens that got used up. So they're the ones that were divided equally. So I'm left with 110 left over. Okay, so now when I bring down my ones, that's where I'm getting 18. So these are obviously doing the same mathematical work, it's just different ways to represent it. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Alright, so now I'm going to start dividing out my ones into my 2 groups. So I'm actually going to do these as a group of 5, so I know that 5 are going to end up in one group, and 5 are going to end up in the other group, just to move things along here. Okay, so 10 divided by 2 is pretty easy. Okay, I also know I have 8 down here, so that's going to get me 4 and 4. So there's my 4, and there's my 4 more. So when you know your fast facts, you can kind of give yourself some shortcuts. But 2 goes into 18 an even 9 times, and that makes sense. 9 times 2 is 18. That's why all of them were used up. So I'm left with a remainder of 0. So to answer the question here, how much money will each sister get? Remember, this was in cents. So our unit is in cents. So each sister will get 49 cents. Okay, so there was an example of having a remainder in the tens place. So everything we do today is going to have a remainder in the tens place that you're going to have to rename. Okay, and this is what that renaming looks like. Make sure that you're doing it neatly. Okay. Alright, so each sister gets 49 cents. Let's keep going. Alright. For these simple ones, I'm actually not going to have you do a place value chart right now for this, okay? Actually, just watch this one. Alright, so I have 3 ones being divided into 2 groups. Well, I know 3 is not going to divide evenly into 2 groups. So 2 goes into 3 only once, okay? There's not enough to go in twice because that would get us to 4. Okay, so 2 times 1 only gets us to 2. I have a remainder of 1. Okay, that's going to help us with this next one. Okay, that's why I just had you watch that one. Okay, so this next one, the same idea is going to happen. So if I have 3 tens, okay, I'm going to have those 3 tens split into 2 groups, but it only happens once. Okay, so it only happens once. My 1 is above my 3. 2 times 1 only got me 2, and then I'm left with 110 left over. So there's my 10 that's left over. Remember, I'm going to rename it. Okay, in this case, I can put it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I bring down my 0. That's how my 10 is formed. Alright, and now 10 divided by 2, I know that fact, so I'm just going to do them again like I did in the application problem. I'm going to do them as a set of 5. So 5 and 5. Okay, so 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 times 5 was 10. So I have a remainder of 0. So my final answer is my quotient is 15, my remainder is 0. Okay? All right, I think I can squeeze in one more example here for us. Let's jump to this one. Okay, so I've got 84 divided by 3. Okay, go ahead and set up your tens and ones chart, your place value chart, and your algorithm. I'm going to start drawing in my 8 tens and my 4 ones. Okay. Alright, and I'm dividing into 3 groups, so I have 1, 2 lines will make me 3 nice groups. And I've got my 1, 2, 3 that are going into my 3 groups first. 1, 2, 3 going into my 3 groups next. And, oh, I have 2 tens left over this time. Okay, I know this is quite a bit of drawing, but do it neatly. So I've got 2 that are going to be renamed, and again I'm going to shoot them up on top here just so they can be nice and neat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so make sure those are nice and neat there. So my 3 went into my 10 only twice. Okay, as close as I can get is 6. If I go to 9, I've gone too high. Okay, I hope that's starting to make sense. So 3 goes in twice, gets you 6, and we were left with 2 tens left over. When I rename, I bring down my 4, I have 24 ones. So now I know 3 does go into 24 evenly. If you know that fast fact, you can skip right to your algorithm here. 3 goes into 24 and go ahead and record it. But if you need to show out these 24 being divided into 3 groups, do it. Okay? So I'm going to do them as groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3, cross them off and record them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and the last one looks like 1, 2, 3. Alright, and that should make sense because 3 times 8 gets you 24. Okay, so I should have ended up with 8 there. So 3 times 8 gets me 24. All 24 were used up, so that's that step in the algorithm here. And I'm left with a remainder of 0. So my final answer here, make sure you write out your quotient was 28 and your remainder was 0. Okay, please get in the habit of showing me your final answer off to the side nice and neat. Okay, I'm also going to quickly check this one. Okay, so on your problem set they're going to ask you to check. I just want to remind you what that looks like. So I'm going to take 28, which was my quotient, I'm going to multiply it by 3 and then see what I get. So I've got 4, 24, I have 6, 7, 8. That does indeed check, and hopefully that does it for you today with division with remainders in the tens. Okay, good luck guys. If you need help, make sure you're asking. Have a great day.